Cash flow question. There will always, there will be some cash flow calculations or the face of the cash flow or the notes, anything like that. And then there'll be either 3 or 4 ratios to calculate. Now, I stress again, like I did the Saturday we did it, do not depend on your format sheet because they give the format sheet weird. So make sure that you know your formats. Okay. So, firstly, they want me to prepare an ordinary share capital note. So, they already gave me the opening. So now I can just say here, closing. Or you can say, end of the year. All of that is fine. So now if I look at this info, they say on the 1st of March, 1.2 million was in issue. Please close the door for me. Okay, then the 30th of June, additional 300,000 was issued. So now, if I look, 300,000 shares were issued, but can you see they do not tell me at what price? Meaning I'm going to have to balance on that. Then they say 90,000 shares were repurchased, which means I've got left 1.5 less 90, it's 1,410. And they say it's repurchased 80 cents above average. Okay, now there's no way, so they say there at average, but I don't know what the average is. So the only way I can calculate is either if I have all the info from top to repurchase, which I don't. So I need to see, is there any place where they give me that closing balance? And do they give me any information? Yes. And they do. If I look here, I can see they did tell me my closing is 9306, and you will see here, nowhere is it said that this was not recorded. Meaning this is the final balance, 9306, right? And now I know, if I say 9306, I divide it by the 1410, I will get the average price is 6. Okay, and so now I say 90,000 times 660 gives me. So now I need to balance. So it's going to be 9306 plus 594 minus 72, and that's going to give me 270. Okay. So we've done this one. Now they say cash from operating and cash from financing. So the first thing before you do anything else is you write down your format. So I know this is going to be dividends paid and tax paid. And I know this is going to be issue shares, which I just transfer the 2.7 million. Buy back shares. Buy back, I know I bought back 90,000, and they say here it's 80 cents above average. So what's the average? The average is 6 rand 60 plus the 80 cents. It's going to give me 7 rand 40. So I say times 7 rand 40. It's that one. And that gives me what? And that's brackets because I am buying. Not the 0. Okay. Now since this one is almost finished, let's finish it up. So I know next is my loan. So because there's only one line, most probably there's only a balance that I need to subtract, and I see yes. Here they say loan statement. The annual statement reflects the following. Okay, so they say I have a balance the start of the year. Monthly payments including interest. Now what's important is this loan is excluding interest. Why? Because I already showed the interest here. I can't double show it. Okay, so I only want to know what is the amount that I paid on the loan. So there's one of two ways I can do it, right? Easiest is I take the total that they paid, which is 22,750 for 12 months, which is what? Okay, so I can see it's 273. I've paid 117 interest. So how much did I pay on the loan? 155. Okay, so it's 155, 400. The other way I can do it is I can draw T for loan. So if I draw T for loan, I've got an opening. Did they give me an opening? No, they don't. So that I can't do that method. Okay. Next one. Yes. I know it's a decrease because if I read here, they say monthly payments. And when I pay, it's a decrease. Okay. So, next one, dividends paid. What am I going to look for? Shareholders for dividends, the opening, and I see it's a question mark. Okay, that's fun. Okay, what else do they give me? If I read here, do they give me anything? Let's look at the dividends. They give me the final dividends last year. Ne? If you look at this, can you see we're working 22, 23. So if I am looking here, ne? We all know our year starts 22, so it ends 23. Can you see here they took final dividends 28 February 22. What do I know? It means it's that opening balance there that they're giving like that. Okay? And then they give you the interim dividends. And then the final dividends for this year, which I don't need. Okay? So now let's go look. The final dividends for last year was 24 cents. Now remember, what was my opening? You agree with me, your opening is last year's closing, isn't it? Okay, so I know I'm going to say 2.7 times 24 cents, and that gives me what? $648 Dalmatians. Okay. Then I want the interim. Now I see the interim was declared 31st August. Can you see it's after the additional 300? What did I do wrong with this? I did something very wrong.
You took the number for the issue.
Yes, I took the rands. I was supposed to take the... Okay, thank you. Okay, it's so freaking dear mekaar today.
Yes.
So let's just do this. So I'm going to say 1.2 million shares, 24 cents, and that will give me 288. Okay. The interim they say they declared the interim on 31st August, and if I look, the new ones was issued 30 June. Can you see? In other words, I'm going to work on the 1.2 and the 300. So I'm going to work on 1.5 million. And how much is the final dividend? The interim dividend, 30 cents. Nee. So that's going to give me 450. So now I'm going to add the two, and it gives me, is that right? So now let's do tax paid. So when I do tax paid, I'm also going to open up a T account. Ne? So my T will look like this. Sash. I got an opening and a closing and a bank and an income tax. Receivable and payable, receivable and payable. Okay, now let's see. The opening is a debit, meaning it's a receivable, 42.5. The closing is a credit, meaning a payable, 27.8. The income tax, they have to give me somewhere, and if I look at D, I see it there. They say it's net profit after tax is 912, and tax is 27. So in other words, net profit before tax, net profit after. Before is 100, tax is 27, meaning this is 73. So I say they gave me the 912, they gave me the after. So to get that one, I need to say times 27 over 73. So what's my tax? 337,500 less gives me 267,200. Remember your brackets. And can I please say, if they highlight stuff like they did here, can you see here? You can't really see it on the screen now, but can you see those? That one is darkened, and that one, right? They're gray. Then you're not going to waste your time adding, because it means if it's grayed, they're not marking it. Okay. So we're done with the cash flow. Now we need to do the ratio. So the first ratio is the net asset value. So net asset value is she over shares. Okay? Because I don't times with 100, my answer is going to be a rand. If I times with 100, my answer would be in cents. Now I want shareholders' equity, which they gave me, 10,200. I need to divide by the amount of shares in issue, which I calculated here, 1410. 1410, and it gives me 7. You always round off to 2 decimals because it's a rand. Okay, now the NAV is the value of the share inside the company. Okay, now let's go look. Dividend payout rate. So when it's the dividend payout rate, it's going to be the DPS on the EPS times 100. And this will tell me the percentage dividends that's paid out on our earnings. What's our earnings? The net profit after tax. Ne? Yeah. Earnings is that which is available to share. And what's available to share? The net profit after we paid tax. So that's the earnings of the company. And now we want to see what percentage of that earnings are we going to pay out to the shareholders. Okay, so now let's see. What is my dividends per share? Did they give me any of those things? Did they give me the DPS? Did they give me the EPS?
They did. They gave us earnings.
Where?
Down there. Dividends and earnings per share.
Oh, there. Okay. So they give me the dividends. Now, very careful. The earnings is 66.2. But what is the dividends? Now remember, I can't take the 24. I want to get the total. Remember the 24 was used for what I paid. I want to know what is the dividends declared this year. So the dividends declared this year is that 30 cents plus that question mark. And how will I get that question mark? Now what do I know? This is the rand value, ne, of the shareholders for dividends. You agree with me? This is my closing balance, which is my final dividend. And I know how many shares were in issue. So, in other words, if I go back here, ne, I know 1410 shares were in issue. So if I go say the final dividends was what? 282. And we paid that to 1410 shares. Ne? Times 100 because this is cents. So I want cents. What's my final dividend? 20. So 30 plus 20, meaning it's 50 cents over 66.2. Please show it separate like this. Because it's 5 marks, they're going to mark it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Okay, so what do I know? What is my dividends per share? My dividends per share is the cent value of my interim, ne? And my final. Now, if I look at the information, the interim was given 30 cents. This final that they give me here, the 24 cents, is last year's final. Okay, not this year's final. I'm looking for this year's final. So this year's final, they give me the rand value, ne? With shareholders for dividends. I know that's my final dividend. And I know in the previous question, I calculated the amount of shares in issue. So what did I do? I took the final dividend, divided the final shares in issue, and I see, okay, it means we declared 20 cents. So that 20 cents I add with the interim, divided by the, can you see, 50 out of the 66 cents we declared as dividends. So we have a very high dividend payout policy. Ne? So what is the percentage?
Times 100. We times that by 100.
Yeah. 75%. So from the earnings, from that which is available from the profit to share, we pay out 75%. Meaning 25% the company keeps. That would be my retained income. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you can. Okay, last one. Percentage return on average shareholders' equity. So, what is the percentage return? I just told you. Your return, ne, is that which you get back. What do you get back? The net profit after tax. Because you first need to pay tax and then you can say, oh, this is the profit we made. Okay? So, it's net profit after tax over half shareholders' equity. How do I know half? Because of the word average. And they say it's shareholders' equity. So it's half shareholders' equity plus shareholders' equity times 100. So what's my net profit after tax? They gave it to me, ne? As 9,192,345 over half, and they did give me my shareholders' equity. So I'm just going to add the two, the 10,2 and the 7,985 times 100. So they literally will give you a mark for that. They'll give you 2 marks for that and a bagel for the final. Okay, so now it takes a lot of time to go rewrite everything again. So what I suggest is you literally go say, what is 10,2 plus 7,9 divided by 2, what do you get? Okay, the answer is 10% on the dot, but what do I get here? Oh my word.
It's like you're smiling and like, okay.
Something.
Yes.
Okay, what is it?
9,092,752.
Okay, 9.
9,092,752.
Okay, I assume that first 9 mustn't be there.
Yes.
Okay. So now I can just say 912 divided 909. And it gives me 10%.